So yeah, so we had planned for like a plastic free July talk. We were planning from like 2 3 months to do similar things, and like we all are trying to reduce waste in some way. Like you are trying to create a zero waste world around you, and we are trying to recycle the plastic we collect. So similarly, like we see a lot of time like we are not able to reduce our waste due to some of the different challenges, and we all know there are certain challenges that can't be resolved easily. So that's why we are here today and like sharing experience, like what are the challenges and what are the processes we are facing during our recycling, or like when we are switching to a sustainable life. So I will share like few of my last month experience. Like in last month experience, I tried to, because I'm not like a more of a conscious guy who like always reduce the plastic waste. But when it comes to a plastic free July, so I tried to reduce my plastic waste in month of July at least. So the few of the techniques I tried to use is like whenever I eat something, or like whenever I am going outside with my family or something, or I eat, so I try to eat in the my family like plate. Like if they take anything in a plastic, so I do not try to buy anything in a plastic. So I use my parents' plate, similar things. So exactly similarly, like whenever like because on weekends I am usually out, so I carry my own like a bottle, or like whenever I need to eat something, so I try to eat things that are generally I can recycle, because like there are a lot of things in our organization we can't recycle. There are few things we can recycle. So I try to avoid things that I can't recycle. So I eat Lay's, Kurkure, or like a these are the things I can recycle. So like in case of like I am eating like some pav bhaji from like a some restaurant, so they give in a plastic. So these kind of thing, like when it become wet, so I am not able to recycle it. So I try in month of July. So I try to at least avoid these kind of things that I can't recycle. So similarly, like you are also trying to do all different things. So I want to start from like Kavya, from you, like how you are trying to do your side and reducing the waste from in your life, and like the different people that you're connected to, and building your own channel to create similar things for others. So what do you, Kavya?
Okay, so I'm Kavya. Hi. And basically, I own a zero waste store in Noida called EcoFriend. And I've been practicing a zero waste lifestyle for about 5 years now. And I've learned a lot, I think. And I thought I'd share my challenges, advice, suggestions from that perspective of everything that I've learned through the years. So, to begin with, two of my main challenges were firstly, it wasn't always easy to figure out whether or not something was actually plastic. Like for some things, it's very obvious, right? Like a plastic bottle, you look at it and you know that it's plastic. But for like kitchen scorers, I did not know that they were plastic until recently. Car tires, all of this, it takes a lot of time to learn what is actually plastic and what isn't. And you might think at one point that you are living a low waste lifestyle, and then you realize, oh, it's not as low as you had first thought it to be. And the second challenge, which is actually a little bit of a bigger challenge, was finding a balance between choosing stuff that was not made up of plastic, and choosing stuff that did not contain chemicals. Because it was sometimes, for example, if you go to a kirana, you do find dals and rice in bulk, which you can get without the plastic packaging. But then they contain a lot of colors, pesticides, so that way they are still bad for the planet. And then when it comes to chemical free things, my first switch when I had just started out zero waste was switching to soap nuts to wash my hair. Now they are great, they are chemical free, they are biodegradable, but I couldn't get them without plastic. I still can't get them without some sort of plastic packaging. So that's always there. Like you kind of have to choose. It's difficult to find a balance, and sometimes you just can't find a balance. Um, those were, I think, my top two challenges. But what really helped me throughout, and it still does, is just asking my parents what they used before plastic or something that contains a lot of chemicals existed. So, for example, I remember I asked my dad once what people in his time used to use before face creams existed, and he told me that they used to use malai, and I was so surprised. But it was such an easy switch for me, and I take this up as an advice too, because a lot of the zero waste literature that's out there on the internet is based on the Western world. Like in the beginning, I remember I was body butter. And for that, I ordered so many things: cocoa butter, mango butter, coconut oil, and it was all coming in this load of packaging from all over the world. And then later, I was just like, I could have just used coconut oil. It was right there, it was easily available where I lived. Um, so yeah, that's why I think if you just ask your parents, they will always give you advice based on things that already exist in your area. Um, then an advantage that comes with going zero waste is that, I mean, I don't know how, for me it was an advantage because I was very strict with switching out, just keeping plastic out of my life, especially with metallized plastics like wrappers. I know that some places do upcycle or recycle them, but usually they aren't recycled, right? So I stopped eating all of these chips. I still don't eat any of it, chocolates, chips, whatever. So in a way, it's advantages because I've also let go of a lot of processed hydrogenated fats, sugars. Um, and the second advantage is also that a lot of things that are not good for the planet are also not good for you. So if there are bad chemicals in your detergents that are going in through the waterways to the planet, to rivers and groundwater, they are also getting absorbed into our skin, and they're also badly affecting us. Even with inorganic food, like I said, which has colors and pesticides, it's as bad for the planet as it is for us. And lastly, I have, yeah, I think two points of advice that I could give would be, first, that it is a very slow step-by-step lifestyle change. And although this concept of plastic free July is great, it you can't actually go plastic free in a month. Like it's literally not possible. Are you just going to throw out all of the plastic that you already have at your home? Firstly, that's very wasteful. If you have something that's already plastic, use it until it lasts, until it dies. And secondly, it takes a lot of time to reshape your life around something new, because our world, our lives today are so dependent on plastic that we are so used to it that finding something that works for you, for your lifestyle, that's available to you locally, is going to take a lot of time. And secondly, uh, at a lot of points, you might, if you are someone that's trying to switch to a lower waste lifestyle, you will be tempted to switch back to this more wasteful life because it is more convenient. But one thing that helps me personally a lot is the realization that um, there aren't a lot of people out there who know and who care. And if people who know and care are not going to take an action, who is? And I just keep telling myself this every time I find myself faltering, buying something that exists in plastic packaging or something that contains horrible chemicals. So, yeah, I think that's my overall piece
Got
of
it.
advice.
So I just two questions right now for you. Like, so how you trying to spread the similar thought process you have to the other pupils around you and to the like social media through your social media, and second is like how like you see the sustainable lifestyle is more affordable, because what I see like a lot of time people don't choose it because the each product you try to buy it is more costly compared to the product you buy at a plastic product.
Yeah, so to answer the first question, right now I just actually I made an Instagram account just for my store. I did not have one before it. And I think I just there's so much that people don't know, and just for example, the impact of using that green kitchen scrubber. I've made a detailed video, for example, on that, or I keep putting up posts about little things that people might not know, or people may not realize the bigness of the impact of it. So, and in my everyday life, honestly, like even my family is not zero waste or low waste. And it's only because we have the store open and we have this convenient way to buy these things that they are using them. But I mean, yeah, I guess I try. They are lower waste than they were before, my friends and my family. But mainly, I think my way of spreading awareness is through Instagram, through my posts and reels. And the second one is, it is true, we get this a lot even at the store, that like our liquid detergents, they are soap nut based, and like people have literally gone into the forests and picked each and every soap nut out, and it's like a complex formulation that's meant to be like good for your skin and not damaging in any way. And because the production is low, it is costly. But then there are also things that are not as costly and they are like competitively priced, and these tend to also perform better at our store. But I think it is a fact. It is a matter of fact that things are pricier, and but that is just because the production is low. But if people start buying these products more, the production will increase and the prices will automatically go down. So I guess that's my answer.
Got it, got it. But
Yeah.
like what I see is like most of the time when we make like a sustainable product, so they come from a natural resources. So do you think
Mm.
in terms like when the production of like a sustainable product gone up, then the natural resources consumption will grow more?
Like, you think that that's a bad thing because you will run out of them?
Yeah, means in some way like if we go for our natural resources more and more, like suppose the toothbrush made out of bamboo,
Bamboo, yeah.
you started using the bamboo more and more, so it is also like a natural resources. So like
Yeah.
what is your, do you see any trade-off कि मतलब there should be some kind of a plastic we should use or like recycle, or like we just know it's okay to use such sustainable pack like a bamboo, that is a good one and we should use it?
That's a very interesting question, because I even read this article once which said that people in China, basically a lot of bamboo is being sourced from China to all over the world, and they're literally chopping down rainforests to grow bamboo. And that's obviously bad, right? I mean, sustainable products at the cost of forests is does kind of seem off. I honestly don't know if I can say for sure ki this is better or that is better. Um, I guess some things actually you can't even get rid of plastic, right? In like the medical industry, you can't get rid of it. And but I can see how that can be a problem depending too much, especially like, for example, if people start using the same use and throw that they use with plastic, that mentality, if they still have it, it will that then I can say that it will definitely be harmful. Like even soap nuts, right? You can reuse them 4 times at least. But if you use them once and then toss them out and then keep buying them again and again, then I can see that being problematic and bad for the planet, definitely. Because we'll run out of, because there's so many of us and so little of what's available naturally. So, Yeah, maybe if we have that mentality that we need to reuse, even though it's sustainable, we only throw it out once it's completely unusable. If we have that mentality, then I think it shouldn't be a problem.
Got it. So like we have to keep in mind we have to reuse, recycle always instead of like buying sustainable
Yeah,
products.
yes.
So any tips you wanna give to people like in reusing their any products that you use in your daily life?
Mm, actually, for a lot of things that I use right now, since I've let go of so many things that I used to use, but I think simply just um if you have glass bottles and jars at home, but I think people in India, people do this already, you know, they use their glass jars. If Nutella ka jar aaya hai ghar pe, then they will store other things in it, and that's good. If you have those containers that you get from ordering in, then try to reuse them. If you can't reuse them, at least recycle them. Um, I I can't think of anything right now, but yeah, even like for pens and stuff, instead of buying a new pen every time, try and buy refills instead of a pen. It's like little things that you can do, and you don't realize the just the significant amount of difference that it can make. But if you think of it as in as my yearly impact or my 3 years impact, then you realize how much of a difference it makes just if one person decides to make a change.
So you see like you are following the zero waste lifestyle from like around 3 to 5 years. So like
Yeah.
what means in your side like what great achievement like you feel like you achieved when you followed like a zero waste lifestyle in a 5 years?
Uh, Achievement, though, I don't know if I would call it an achievement, but
Feel like a good feeling you can say or like a
yeah,
that feel you have.
for yeah, for me, actually, I wanted to switch to this lifestyle because I love animals. And I had all in school, I was that one person who would go around saying, "Oh, human beings are so bad because their lifestyles are so damaging to animals. We do this, we do that." And then one day I saw this video of this woman, Lauren Singer. She's quite popular. She was the one who brought this zero waste lifestyle into like media and general media. And then I saw this one person, and then I was like, oh my God, I am a part of those people that I actually hate. Like I hated people for doing things that they did. And yeah, seeing that video of that one person making sure that she didn't contribute to producing waste for whatever reason she had made me realize that I didn't want to contribute to producing waste that harmed animals in any way. So right now, when I do practice a zero waste lifestyle, I have that sort of relieved wala feeling in my head. At least I'm not living a life. At least I'm not contributing to harming animals.
Got it.
Yeah.
So like your biggest motivation is like you are not at least you are not the person who is making animals life bad or like earth life bad. So that's the biggest
Yes.
motivation for you to follow zero waste lifestyle. Got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for sharing these of the special tips and what motivate you to follow your zero waste lifestyle because I think this is the key factor other people can follow.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Following the composting in her home. Hi
I
Manakshi,
really,
how are you?
I'm good. So is it, I think, I guess the problem is there is some network glitch uh, from my side or from your side.
I'm not sure. Like, can you hear me
Are
now
you able to
properly?
hear me? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have.
So
Okay.
I think yeah, there is little, but yeah, it will work, I guess. So
Okay.
yeah, like I know a little bit about you. you try to create zero waste lifestyle in your home and like do composting. So like I just want to know more about how you are trying to do it and like how you're creating awareness to the people around you.
Okay, so let's start with the first one. So I have my name is Meenakshi and I have my page on Instagram. I have my Instagram handle is turn in green, turn.in.green. The basic idea where I am being following is composting. So I'm into all kinds of composting, be it aerobic or anaerobic, and I have earthworms also. So I'm into earthworms composting as well. Well, I started composting 4 to 5 years back, but yes, 4 to 5 years back I was doing composting, but I was not very serious. And I'll take that part later. Why I was not very serious now about that is because of the time factor as well. Because now we are in pandemic, we are facing pandemic, and we all have a lot of time. We can hello.
Yeah, yep, I can
Yeah,
hear.
yeah, yeah.
In
So,
case your network is a little bit low, you can switch off the video because in that case, I think the you can we can listen you properly.
I think it will do it automatically because it asked me whether I can switch off the video or not. So I think it will switch off the video automatically if network from my side would be weak.
Got
Okay,
it.
so I was on the composting. So I've been doing composting since you can say 2016, 17. I started with the aerobic composting. Now I'm into bokashi composting, which is anaerobic composting, and I do worm composting also, which is with the help of the earthworms. But I started my journey of I do not started my journey of minimum waste or zero waste. I started my journey not with the motive of minimum waste, but I was very inclined towards gardening and composting and taking care of the wet trash because I belongs to a middle class family. I have always seen my mother practicing the same thing. That's another thing that now she's not able to do it because of the age factor. But I have seen my mother when I was, I think, 6 or 7 year old. I, in fact, asked my mother. What she used to do is she had that weekly habit of, she used to collect all the vegetable peels and all that in one of the container. And we had that going not in a very posh area. We were living in a ठीक-ठाक area in Delhi. And that those days, आपके घर के आसपास या सामने खाली plot जरूर होते थे. So we used to have just in front of our home. So what my mother used to do, she used to collect all the peels weekly, and she used to dig a hole. There was a helper. He used to dig a hole, and my mother used to, just वो वहां पे वो ड्रॉप कर देती है एंड देन शी यूज्ड टू फिल अप दैट होल और वहां पे उनकी बहुत आदत थी शी इज वेरी इंक्लाइंड टुवर्ड्स द गार्डनिंग बट वी हैड स्पेस कंस्ट्रेंट वी हैव फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम and as so my mother has I remember once she had 12 tomato plants and she has grown all the tomato plants with the help of the peels and with the help of the tomato which we have at our home. So that was, I think, a very fascinating factor for me. That I think triggered few years back, when I was in my teens. I started doing it, but I failed because in school you have your school homework, you have to go to tuition, you have to play also. Then I went to college. I was in Pune. I was living in a hostel. I never got a chance. But ultimately, when I shifted in my own apartment, I started doing it because my apartment was small, but I was lucky enough to have a balcony. So I started creating small garden. And for garden, of course, you need, a lot of fertilizer. So I thought that rather than buying fertilizer, because I think that's the biggest factor. Because I'm a family, those habits are in imbibed in us that आपके घर में जो भी चीज है करो or otherwise produce it if it's possible. So I thought why not save money. So that was composting. And then the journey of composting is endless for me. Now I'm into bokashi composting as well, which is anaerobic composting, which is also good. And I'm into earthworm composting recently. Just 7 months back, I have started with the worm composting. And worm composting is very interesting. Except the fact that you failures in that, but otherwise it's very interesting. So I call my journey as a minimum waste. There is no concept of with due respect to everyone thoughts. I believe there is the movement cannot be the moment you call your movement as a zero waste movement. It's not going to happen. It's impossible actually, because I have given enough thought to it, and I truly believe that once a human is born, with its birth, you start creating trash, and your trash is, like animals, they have their excrete. Their excrete is also a fertilizer. Like dog poop, you can compost, but human excrete you can't compost. It's bad for the. I won't say it's bad for the environment, but it's useless actually. So my journey of minimum waste started with the composting. Along with the composting, I have been doing a lot of other things as well. Like and now we live in a area. I'm living in Mayur Vihar, where I've tried my level best. I've been to Lakshmi Nagar. I've gone to Lakshmi Nagar till Lakshmi Nagar to find out one shop which can provide you the the ration, the daily, these things, in a form where it shouldn't be, or it cannot come into that plastic package. But that was a failure for me. Of course, I have tried a lot. I've talked to my general store wala. He also says that's impossible, because most of the pulses, he says, comes in a packaged plastic packaging. As far as the other, few of the products are concerned, like rice is there. Yes, because the option is there. So I, buy rice, not in a this thing, but he has some of my clothes bags, which I have made. I have 5150 cloth bags, which I have distributed to my general store wala and to my sabzi wala. And I have given them the instruction that I can't take the polythenes with me. So you better give. And these guys have been very nice enough to, consider my request as well. And whatever plastic packaging or plastic wrappers which I get, I collect them and I give it to Waste Wow. Before there used to, when I was in Lajpat Nagar, he used to collect my plastic. He was, I think I told you, Dilip, that I don't know what he used to do, but he used to collect all the plastic, not of me, but of still continuing the practice. They started seeing me giving all the plastic packages and wrappers to the recycler. So they also started with it. So I think I have made, this kind of impression to at least one person. And I'm very happy that they are still continuing. We are still in, we are still in touch whenever they face any problem. And the good factor is that they don't even they are not even their middle age. They are 3 and they are still continuing. That's a commendable factor, because most of the times, you face challenges in these years. It gets difficult for an old couple. You can't expect from them to, because they are, sometimes they don't even have their children help. So that's the factor. And on a minimum waste, okay, Dilip, probably you can ask me, otherwise I'll just go long.
No, it's like I was really amazed to see like you learn a lot from your mother, and like you are implementing whatever the basics you learned there, and like now you are making it shareable to others. So that's a really good thing I see here. And like when you see you are tried like a 3-4 composting type, so can you share like what composting you found easy, and which one you found difficult, or like which one people can easily adopt and recycle, or what ways they can try to compost at their home in a easy way.
Okay, I think both aerobic and anaerobic composting both are very easy. I would say that aerobic composting takes 5 minutes a day of you, and I can totally understand. There are a lot of friends of mine who are working, and probably that can be an excuse, but I can understand. They have not told me, but when I, started convincing them, or I had a word with them that you should also start, at least there's the least thing which you can do. So they said that no, we don't even have 5 minutes of day. We can't do that because aerobic composting need a little 5 minutes of your day, because you need to, at least twice in a day, you need to turn up the pile. You have to, mix the pile so that the pile can get oxygen enough, and the composting process should continue. Uh, I'll say if people have garden, a little garden maybe around them, I think bokashi composting is very interesting, and bokashi composting, which is anaerobic composting, is very interesting, and it's very easy, because what you need to do is you just have to have a one anaerobic composter. And if you already have a plastic, container which has a lid, the anaerobic means, wherein the air should not, or the oxygen, it should not come in the contact with the oxygen or with the air. So even if you have a, you can say a container, which may not be a big enough, which may be of middle size, you can start layering your, vegetable peels and greens, which we call. Um, and there are, pre-mixed powders for bokashi composting, which is already available in the market. You can buy them. So you need to just layer those things. I mean, one layer of your peels and then the other layer of that mixing powder. And when that container is full, you can just put aside the container for 15 days. Basically, what it does is it produces a white color fungi, which helps in which helps in composting. And once after 15-20 days, what you can do is you can dig a hole. You can just bury that thing in the hole in your garden, and you can plant a tree, or you can plant a whatever you want to plant. You can start a vegetable planter. You can start with any flowering planter. Basically, what it does is the fungi will continue the process, but the earth, or you can say your potting mix, or whatever you have, if you have done it in a container or in a grow bag, it will have the fertilizer till it grow, or till it goes to the extent of producing fruit or flowers. So that is bokashi composting. If you do not have the garden, like I don't even have the garden, but I have started in the grow bags, because bokashi composting most of the people does. I am a vegetable. I'm a pure vegetarian. I am not a non-vegetarian. So most of the people follow bokashi composting when they are non-vegetarian, because in a aerobic composting, you can't compose your non-vegetarian these things like bones, a little bit of phlegm, or whatever they call it. I'm very short of words for that. Or probably dairy products, especially the dairy products. You can't compost dairy products in aerobic composting. And in aerobic composting, even if you are vegetarian, you won't find any, trash of this thing, dairy products, because even if if you're having milk, most of the households gives a I mean, they are very attentive. I am also very attentive. If if I am going out, I make sure कि मैं उतना ही दूध मंगवाऊं जितना utilize हो जाए. So I don't cross that limit. So I don't get any dairy trash. And in aerobic composting, that's very easy. That's just the layering of green and browns. Greens are your vegetable peels. Whatever is organic in nature, whatever can be decomposed, those are all greens. I have done a short videos and post on my page, wherein I have shown that you can even compost your hairs, you can even compost your nails. Everything can be composed. everything which is made by God can be actually composed. And I keep on stating this, that whatever is most, 99.9% things which are made by the nature or by the God are compostable in nature. You can compost it. You just have to, in aerobic composting, you just have to layer green and browns. Browns are your carbon, basically, which produces carbon, because composting is all about the balance of nitrogen and carbon. So carbon, I have also shared a lot of posts wherein I have given ideas to people that except dry leaves, what all you can use in your browns, like you get cardboard, brown color cardboard, or you get brown color wrappers. You can shred them. You can even use newspapers. You can just shred them and can it can get into your compost pile. Twice or thrice in a week, or sorry, thrice in one day, or you know uh, twice in a day. You can, not a day, sorry, but after 2 days or after 3 days, you can mix or turn your pile. And then there are a lot of people who have been experiencing that even if you do not turn your pile, it is going to compost, because it's a natural process. It is going to decompose after a period of time. So that's about aerobic and aerobic anaerobic composting, and I'm facing a lot of challenges in that. I killed my worms. I went on a vacation. Actually, I went on a vacation, and I had read a lot about them, but I don't know how it skipped in my mind. I went for 3 days for a vacation. I didn't gave them enough water, and it all got dried up, and 50% of them died. I was very I was very sad. The day I came back, I was very sad to see, because they were all over there on the floor. And
Yeah, it's too sad. So like you shared lot of about different processes of composting, and aerobic is the good one I think anyone can start with. So I see like
yes,
few of the challenges when people start composting. Like one is what you do with the compost you create, and second challenge is I see like some people say the mouse come in your home when you start composting. So do you
no,
see
no,
these two are the challenges or like it's
not at all,
easy?
not at all. See, rodents never attracts in compost. It will only attract when, and so I have done a lot of, little I have done post, I have done little videos also, and I've been telling people. So I'm into this now training as well. Me and couple of friends have started with these composting trainings. We have, I think, given 7 to 8 trainings till date. And whosoever, and we are doing it for free. So whosoever wants, we can, just show them what is composting and how you can do a composting at home. Online as well, we are going to their homes as well to start their compost bin. So see, rodents like rats or any other thing, they come when they smell it. Okay, and when it start, when your compost start giving you a foul smell, and it's actually a very foul smell which you can't even control. But why does the smell comes? See, you need to see the problem, the basic problem. What people face, especially the beginners in this, is about the foul smell. And that's why we tell the beginners that you need to turn or mix your pile at least once in a day, which is actually not required, if you'll ask me honest. But they are not able to, balance the ratio of carbon and nitrogen, which is very easy. And it comes, see, composting is all about the experiments. It's an experiment which you will learn, and you will, no matter how many hours I'll give you a lecture upon it, you will goof it up in the beginning. I did. I still did. Sometimes, my pile also starts smelling. So you need to recognize the problem. The foul smell only comes because of two reasons. Either your waste is extremely wet, okay, and it's not supposed to be wet. If it's too wet, of course, foul smell will come. So what you need to do is you need to add the browns in it. cocoa peat, or if you don't have cocoa peat, dry leaves, cardboard, shredded papers, the even I have told people that please soil garden soil in your. What you can do is you can just sun dry the garden soil and you can mix with it in your compost pile. That will also do the process. That will continue the process. So by following these little things, yes, or while when you goof up, you can take the help of Instagram. You can go on Google. You can Google your problem. They are available on Google as well. So by following these little things, you can solve the problem. And when they are living on the ground floor, actually otherwise also, even if you are not doing composting on the ground floor or on the yes, we call it ground floor here. In Mumbai, we call it something else. We don't call it. So in the ground, yes, on the ground floor you will see this problem, but you can certainly avoid that problem. You can construct some structure, or what you can do is you can try to we have these I don't know what they call it. They have these now what the what stands, these are the stands which are coming. There are different plastic stands, the metal stands. So these stands are coming on which you can just keep your compost bin and you can do the process. So rodents, I think, will anyway come. Either you're doing composting or you're not doing composting. See, if you don't have to do it, of course, you will complain and you will find some excuse. That's what I think. But
and like, what about
it's
the
you can avoid the problem. That's not.
So like, do you create
I
like
have
a
a garden.
more
I have 57 plants. So मेरा compost कम पड़ जाता है, but I have I share it with my neighbors as well, my compost, and I can share with all of you guys as well if you want. I can send it to whosoever want. But yes,
or
so that's
anything
about my.
any for people like come to do they or like drop in a park or like something,
Yes,
or like
you can easily
what
drop
they
it in a
do with
park.
it?
Yes, you can easily drop it in a park. You'll find your neighbors doing gardening, so you can give them. And believe me, there are a lot of people I have seen, and you learn from all you come in contact with people. So one of the friend, he has only 3 or 4 plants there because their balcony is very small, but she's hosting since 2009 to me. So when I goof up anything, when I go wrong in my compost, and when I'm facing a lot of problem, I'm not finding anything on the Google, I go to her, I ask her, and she solves my problem. So what she does, and she start like in composting process also, like if you'll see if you'll the nutshells, if you use in your composting as a brown, nutshells never decomposes in one cycle. So what she does is she divide the finally compost material into 2 parts. One which is completely compost by sieving it. You can just take a little siever and you can sieve your compost easily. And the other partially decomposed, compost, she again use that in the other cycle of the compost as a carbon, because then it becomes a source of carbon for you. So rather than finding dry leaves, rather than going for the cocoa peat, you can use that partially decomposed compost in the next or in the fresh cycle of composting. So that way your compost quantity is reduced, and this composting. So and believe me, this is a natural fertilizer. Even if you're giving your plants a little more, fertilizer, because it's natural in nature, it will not harm your plants. So, and composting itself, Dilip, takes at least 45 days in summers, on north side of India, and 60 to 70 to 80 days in, in these kinds of weathers like monsoon or in winters. So it's a very slow process. You will I can bet you that even if you have 4 or 5 plants, or even if you have 2 plants, you will always be in shortage of compost. There would be you can never reach that situation where you have, a lot of compost which you can't able to handle at your home. And there are a lot of, I have, so you, as I said, you learn a lot, you learn every day. I have seen people, what they are doing now is, when after 45 or 60 days their compost is ready, they pack their compost in a cardboard box or in a container, and then they have started using now, haldi or neem leaves, so that the fertilization quantity of the compost can be increased. So there are a lot of, innovative ways. If you want to go ahead, you can do a lot of things,
Got it.
but
So like
I think people should
we
just
can
start
adopt,
with it.
like we can reuse in our next cycle if we have like a large compost. But you, as you said,
Absolutely.
like there is never be a large compost created, like because it takes like a 45 days at least in monsoon or.
Absolutely. So I have, what I usually I face, I have to order natural fertilizer, organic fertilizer for my this thing, or from the market, or I have to ask my friend to borrow it, because I'm always short of compost. Because of the other factors as well. I have to give it to my mother, I have to give it to my sister, I have to give it to everyone. And there are a lot of people who, request me on Instagram, who leave the message that we are not able to do it, so can you share it? And I share it. So I feel happy. So even if I'm buying it from market for my own plans, that doesn't matter.
So I have one more question for you, Meenakshi. Like sometimes I see like the boiled food is like people avoid boiled food in composting. So there is some reason with the boiled food in composting, or like it can be compost easily.
No. So you see, for beginners, yes, I tell them don't add, ready-made food or boiled food. But I'll tell you the method of adding it. You can add anything which is organic anything which is natural in nature, you can add in your compost easily. There is no, rocket science behind it. What you need to do is, what people actually does is, they, supposedly you have leftover rajmas over your place. So what you do is, because of the lack of knowledge, of course. So, but once you will do it, next time you will never do the same thing. They add the rajma along with the curry and along with all those masala. So you're not supposed to do it. What you need to do is, you need to strain it. You need to, strain it with the water. Same goes with the boiled food as well. You strain it so that, the salt or the masalas which you have added with that cooked food, that can be strained, and then the leftover can be easily added into the compost pile. So that's the method to go about it. And I there are a lot of people who says that lemon peels should not be added. I add lemon peels also, because I do, I make my own lemon bioenzyme, not for washing and all, but yes, for cleaning, I have been doing cleaning with my lemon bioenzyme. But the bioenzyme also is, it's, you need to take a very less quantity of bioenzyme. So how many, and we regularly have our Nibu Pani at our home. So regularly we have 6 to 7 lemon peels lying behind it. So I add it in my compost, and I have never faced any problem in it. You need to do a little of, hard work. Now people want to just dump it in the compost. Please don't dump it in the compost. If you have time, just, take 2 or 3 minutes of your time and just cut it into small pieces, and then go in. You can add into the compost bin.
Yeah, that's means everyone should follow
I
these
have
things. But like
beyond crossed the limit. It's 3:54. I
but
told
but
you, you need to stop me.
So what I see is like it is not that easy to compost. Like it takes like 45 days to compost. So but everyone like to have a method so they can compost in a 1 or 2 day. But yeah, but maybe in futures we have like some easy method to compost. But at least right now, like you shared like a lot of good tips people can follow and reduce their wet waste and compost at home. So thanks for sharing all the details. And I think people would
Thank
use it,
you.
and all these ideas you shared today.
Yeah, and thanks for having me. Thank you,
Thank you.
Dilly. Thank you.
So our next speaker is Bharat. He is going to share his journey into reducing waste and how he's trying to manage the awareness for people around him. So over to you, Bharat, if you are here, or like we can, Tanya can start.
Yes, I can start. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, I hope I'm both visible and audible.
Yeah, you are Bharat. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. So, yeah, first of all, I'll just go ahead and introduce myself. So, I'm a fresher architect. My name is Bharat Rulania, and I'm from Bhilwara, Rajasthan. So, my story began in 2020 uh, when I was on my professional training. So it was in Sikkim, and uh, there I've met a lot of people. I was working with a team there on a project. So I I wasn't I was always aware about the waste that I'm producing, but I didn't took it really into the consideration that I should really be uh, conscious about what I'm consuming, and I always used to have biscuits and all that when I used to go out. But when I went there and I saw a fellow architect who was into it, and it was there into her family since ages, and she was also segregating the waste at home. So it really fascinated me, that the whole idea, and it really hit me that what am I doing, and where do I stand in this? So I really questioned about this. Uh, then I started up small steps and reducing my waste. So from that tour only, I haven't uh, I haven't touched any plastic uh, packaged, and like basically I cannot 100% mitigate all the plastic packaged food, but at least I can eradicate those those products which are not necessary. Like without, it's not like that if I don't consume this product, I will die. No, uh, I just made an imaginary list in my mind that what is necessary for me to keep me going. Like I used to buy packet milk and all those biscuits and chips. So I try to find an alternative to that. So I biscuits I used to jar, and I used to bring them home without wasting any plastic packets. And also for milk, I used to, like, I searched that who is selling the milk locally, and I used to go there with my container or any utensil, and I used to get that. So these small steps, when I started taking it, and when I was in college, so uh, there were like four people who were living with me in we were like flatmates. So when they saw me, when they see me doing this, so indirectly, I never force them to do what I am doing, but you know, sort of inspired them, or they also developed some kind of consciousness about it. If they buy thing which plastic, I haven't told them anything. I just used to take the action for my you know just it's just a kind of consciousness that people develop if you are around them and you are doing and taking right decisions. So that's what really uh, important to me. Then later, in later stage, I learned about how the composting has been done. So I used to collect from my mom. She kept a separate basket in kitchen, and she usually feeds it to the cows. So like when I'm not home, she don't instead of throwing it away with the all the dry waste, she feed it to cows. But when I'm at home, I'm not in college. When I come back home, so I take that wet waste and I start composting it. And right now, I think if there is option of flipping my camera, then I can show that. Uh, then I uh, brought some of these plants and start putting that compost into it, and they grew very well. So uh, with this, I developed sort of love for the plants also. So that's how it like it it grew and grew. It never degrades itself. So that's what, like, I started liking it even more than ever. So right now when I go somewhere and I just simply refuse, then I am really I really like to explain a lot. Like when I refuse and people ask why, so then I started explaining it that okay, I don't touch it. I'm not using any plastic packaged food or anything which is harming our environment in any way. Uh, so I don't know if it hits them or not, but I believe at some point they also realize. For example, like I'm at home and I belong to a typical Indian family. Everybody do, I know, but we have a bit of take free things that are coming. Suppose we are going to market, and if you are buying vegetables, so we take single, like for every vegetable we are buying, we people take like plastic packets, those polythenes for each and every vegetable that they are buying, so that it would be easy for the vegetable seller to count and to know at the end when you pay him or her, he will know the quantity that how much you are buying. So and also people free है ले लेते हैं, and they don't think that where it will end up. End of the day, what happens is they bring all the polythenes at home, and they don't have they even don't have patience to open that polythene and take out all those vegetables. They just tear it, they just tore it apart, and they just throw it away, and that's how it is. So uh, it's a story from the last down when I started going out with my dad to buy grocery items and vegetable from market. So I used to I always carry cloth bags with me. It is it is there with me all the time. I don't know what comes, and like I am sure that I am not going to buy anything. But what if the person with me buys and I cannot bear to see it? So what what will happen? At least I can offer. That I feel that this is what small thing that I can do. If other person is not aware, at least I can try and educate him in that way. So when I started doing it with my dad, and I like it took some time. Like at first he got to he used to irritate, he used to get irritated me, but it got some time, and eventually he also understood. And when I'm with him, at least when I'm with him, he don't take polythenes. He he refuses that. No, we have our back. So like, okay, like it's a big thing for me if my family is, of course my family is slow to take it, but yeah, at least they are taking it in. And uh, with it, I told them that I want to do this and that, and some like now they are understanding it and it fascinates them. And when some other person comes and talks about it, or they see it on TV that what people are doing about it, uh, then when it hits them that way, they feel proud about me that okay, my son is doing it from last one year, and they proudly talk about it with others. uh, so it's a good thing. Even in like big events, when like Bhandara or something, like what they do is they buy styrofoam plates because it has, it's tough, and people can eat comfortably in it.
I guess your voice is break. I can't hear you.
Okay,
Yeah, now
from
better.
which part?
Yeah, yeah, you can. I think, but I heard Bhandara.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
last.
Yes. So I try to replace all sort of those things with a sustainable option, like eco-friendly, eco-friendly option. So I went to market and I took this responsibility to buy the plates and all the paper cups that they need, and I only brought them the ones that are biodegradable. It was bit costlier to me. I got they scolded me for that, but later on when people come to eat and some people understood the concept behind it and they really appreciated it, that's the point where when I was looking at my father and he was feeling good about it. So with it, I can go on and on, but with it, I think we are having me here. I hope there will be.
So I have a few questions for you, Bharat. Like as you said, as you are doing in an amazing way, you are taking actionable way to teach and educate your parents and people around you. That's the biggest thing I think anyone can do. So like,
Yeah,
what are the
sometimes like the actions teach themselves. I don't even have to speak a word. So sometimes it happens that way.
yeah, actions are the most powerful. Like in a like bringing a carry bag with you, I think that's where anyone can do. I just want to know like what are the challenges you faced. Like suppose what I see like when people carry means bring their own carry bag when they are going
Mhm.
for a vegetables purchasing. So but like it is not like a conceptually feasible like when you put it all your aloo tomato in a one carry bag. So like do you see that kind of any different challenges when you trying to reduce plastic?
Is about me, I always take more than one bag with me in that case. So when I was like studying back in Punjab, I used to have one basket, one plastic basket, which my friend gifted me. So it was plastic, but I cannot throw it away and uh, it like I don't want it to end up in waste. So I use that plastic basket, and also I had few cotton the cloth bag. So I used to take at least two bags with me, so that in one bag I have dry vegetables like onions and potato together, and in one bag all the other green leafy vegetables and other vegetable which have some kind of water content in it. So I used to take vegetables like that. Mm. And if you ask about challenges, uh, convincing people is itself a challenge. It itself came out to be a challenge for me, because like it's very hard. Like it's like hitting your head with a rock when when you are talking with the when you are talking with the people who don't even understand what it is for. They take everything for granted, and that's what, sometimes it is to put it in
I can understand, like, because a lot of
not
time, like,
soothing but exact
you are
way.
trying
Yeah.
to achieve something, or like, but the people around you, they are not trying to change, and you try to push people around you, but like, you can't do anything because they will not change easily. So, like, sometimes,
What?
like, going on with your own ideas, like, as you said, like, you were carrying the bag. So smallest action you can do with them, I think that's the best way, I think.
Yeah, at least I can offer. And like, but still what keeps me going is that end of the day I just look at myself and I I think that okay, what, like, at least I should think about me, and I should not be the one who is continuously increasing my carbon footprint or something like that. So I stopped going out to the restaurants, like when it hit me that okay, at some point I'm not buying cold drinks directly from the shops, but when I'm going to the restaurants, I'm kind of increasing the demand for it, you know, the food, the packaged food that comes in packets and like that. So it hit me in a way, and I know it's a very hard step because it stops me to socialize much with usually my friends go out and socialize, and I don't have any option but to refuse them that I cannot go. So
So
since I'm from Rajasthan, I invite
what
them
I see,
home
like,
and have dal bati. That's
what
all
I
I
see,
can
like,
do.
everyone try to do, like, as you said, like, you avoid socializing because of the waste, means you can't create more waste. So, like, I think you should avoid, like, eating at that place with the friends, because that's the most beautiful action you can take. Like, sitting with the friends and, like, not eating the food or something, and realizing them why you're doing it, instead of, like, sitting at home and, like, missing the people with you want to be with.
Yeah. So it is more like that. It's my decision when I want to, when I want to meet. I I I should be the one who, like, who should invite them. Uh, it's not like that. I it made I made my life so difficult that I cannot go on somebody's invitation. If I want to meet, I have to invite them home and arrange something for them. That's the only way for me to meet them.
Got it. But yeah, that's I think you are doing, like, a lot of actions around you to create awareness. So that's I think that's a beautiful thing anyone can do. So thanks for sharing
Yeah.
your knowledge, and the way you learned from your around the community, and, like, now you are taking actions with your parents and, like, friends, and, like, you taught your partners, roommates. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much
Thank
for having me here today.
thank you. So our next speaker for today is Tanya. She is going to share, like, tips and tricks for reducing waste. So welcome you, Tanya. Yeah, yeah, perfect. I can hear you and see you.
Yeah. Hi, how are you? So,
I'm good.
yeah, telling something about myself first. So, my journey began in this waste sector was when I was in Masters of Social Design. I did social design from Ambedkar University, Delhi. So, there, my first internship was where I have to like tell the community about waste, about segregation, about composting, about various aspects of waste. So it was amazing journey. Like I developed this interest of waste. Like I was so passionate about waste from there and then, because when I saw that Yeah. So when I had I'm also a bird watcher, and when I see birds struggling into the chips packet, and animals, squirrels especially, are eating like eating junk food, which are not good for them. So I immediately thought that I should do something for my planet, because I cannot just sit idle at my home in a privileged environment and just talk or just debate with my friends that, listen, this is not good. This is really bad. So speaker from Pitch to Zero lifestyle. So talking about myself have switched into zero waste style. Many people ask in past that switching to zero waste lifestyle is a tough journey. It's an expensive journey because you have to buy bamboo toothbrushes, and you have to buy all the products which are environmental friendly, like steel bottles, like bamboo brushes, like toothpaste, which are like liquid toothpaste, which cost you around 700 to 1000. But it's not about being expensive. It's about managing your own waste very smartly and very properly. Like I use neem stick for brushing my teeth, lemon to give a shine on my teeth. And so I always tell them that it's not about being expensive, or switching to zero waste style will, like, you have to give a lot of money from your pocket. No, it's about managing your own waste very properly and very sensitively, that okay, fine, if I throw this, then of plastic will be on my environment. You have to be very planned, very systematically. Okay, if I will make something out of it, like if I make bags out of a plastic bag, and if it get like destroyed, what will it impact in my landfill? Like what impact it will give to my landfill? So you have to think accordingly. You have to be really strategic about all the waste which you are having. So during my journey, I have shared with Dilip also before that during my journey when I was writing my thesis, I came across, like, I live in East Delhi. So I figured out that there, like in East Delhi, municipal corporation is not at all like giving importance to waste, and they are ignoring the fact that is and the Gazipur landfill is just in heights. Next year, it will be reaching Qutub Minar's height. It will be similar to Qutub Minar's height. And I was so sad about this incident that I personally visited the Ghazipur landfill. And when I saw and waste which we have generated, so I was really sad. I was really sad, and I couldn't like control my emotions. But then I took a pledge that okay, so right now I am indulged with the environmental which works with waste management in East Delhi itself, like in Shadra. So we manages we manage the waste. So now we are working on this concept of adopting a gully. So we have adopted a gully, and we have mobilized 100 plus ladies to become like zero waste. So the 100 plus ladies are composting their wet waste into compost, like rich nutrient compost. And they also, like during Holi, they also made the flowers which we offered in the temples. They took that flowers home and they made gulal out of, and this sold it. So we are taking this small initiative, and we are converting the all of the waste into something which is useful. They also made gulukand from the flowers which were of Indal. And now the project we are working on is Adopt a Gully. So we have one lane, like one gully, and spread awareness across the lane on single-use plastic, on always carrying like cloth bag, of not using single-use plastic, of avoiding to give cloth bags to your street hawkers and vendors, and to also start composting at home. And if they can't compost at home, we will provide them with drums, like the biodigester drum, where they can put their all the jaivik kachra and they can make it into a rich compost. So this is my journey, Dilip, and yeah.
That's a really great way. At least you are trying to create a community level impact, like to create a but you trying your hardest way. So I just have few questions for you. As you said, like when you are trying to create your zero waste lifestyle and you see that it is not that easy to live, but we can manage it if we try to live in a like a very manageable way. So do you find any like a platform or like a some resources online that you can use to make your life so much manageable that you reduce your waste and like in a like a affordable way?
Okay. Thank you, Dilip, for the question. Yeah. So I'm in three categories. Like the wet waste, I compost uh, in like my matka, and the plastic waste, I have start giving my plastic waste. Like I have start making eco bricks from my plastic waste, and eco bricks. So there's an so G Mary College starting all the eco bricks, and so I start giving my eco bricks to them. And also there is this organization Arundhati Foundation, who collects all the newspapers. So and they make pencils, seed pens, notebooks, seed notebooks from that. But there's a criteria that you have to give 100 kgs of newspaper, and then they create the products, and then they will give it to you as like a free product. So I have researched a lot about like what kind of waste I can give it to this person, that person, so that they can convert that waste into something useful. And of course, giving you plastic waste is like incredible, because you also make things, you upcycle plastic, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, we try to make like a product which can be used directly by consumers later.
Right.
So we
Right.
do not accept the ecobricks right now because we do not make products out of ecobricks. So we are like not accepting that right now. So the another question like for you right now I have is what are the challenges like you faced when you tried to adopt like a zero means did you try to face any challenges or like when you created awareness with the people in the adopt a gully or like when you created awareness through your channel, so did you face any challenges if you could
Lot
share
of
that?
challenges, a lot of challenges, Dilip. It's not like every person who is sitting here, I know that it's not easy to convince people to switch into a zero waste style, or to switch into like to basically to segregate your waste. It's really difficult to convince people to just segregate their waste. So in my colony in Preet Vihar, so it's a very posh colony, and people like we don't know the name neighbor stranger. So it's really difficult. Like I am reservist if you will ask me, because in this journey based, they are saying that क्या फर्क पड़ता है, आपको क्यों पड़ी है इतना, आप क्या कर लोगे, हम तो यूएसए में सेटल हो जाएंगे, वहां पे तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, आपको इतना क्या प्यार है बेस से, आप देखो इस घर में रहते हो, तो मेंटेन योर स्टैंडर्ड, ठीक है, डोंट वर्क इन दिस सेक्टर, इस सेक्टर से कुछ मिलने वाला नहीं है, ना पैसा मिलेगा ना बस कचड़ा स्मेल, बस यही मिलेगा. सो आई यूज टू गेट सो एंग्री. मैंने गिव अप ही कर दिया था. मैंने सोचा था दिस रोड इज लाइक इम्पॉसिबल. बट देन आई encountered people who are changing themselves. So as Gandhiji always say that be the change you want to see in the world, man. Like, so I became the change. I started trying everything. So I started making paper. I started living a zero waste style. I started using cloth bag. I started composting. I started like spreading awareness. So switching, like always carrying my utensils, whether it's be steel, whether it be like a cup. So people used to laugh at me because I used to open my plate and I used to bring my cup, and they were like, dude, we are at Starbucks, how can you like bring your own steel mug and no one will give you coffee in this steel mug? It's like, no, that's my lifestyle. If you're not comfortable, you can break friendship with me, I don't care. But I have to zero waste style. So generally they used to laugh at me, but it's not at all a easy journey. Convincing people is really difficult. But yeah, we took very small steps. We told people that, see, this Gazipur landfill, this is the waste which we have generated, and we have to manage our waste. No one else will manage. That invisible environmentalists, the waste pickers, are the ones who are managing our waste. And you should be ashamed of yourself if you're giving your waste to them. Like, why someone else will manage your waste, man? Like, you should be sensitive towards other human. We always talk about humanity, we always talk about peace, but we are not sensitive towards our waste pickers. So that's a shame on us. Like, we should be the one who should be blamed. So
Yeah.
so I always told my people that you should be sensitive. At least if you're not being able to manage, like if you're not being able to segregate the waste, at least try composting. It's a fun. It will teaches you a lot of things. Like Minakshi also share, like composting. It is so wonderful. It taught me patience. It taught me to be friends with insects. It taught me how to be friends with insects. And oh my god, like the smell of the compost, it's like a pitroka smell. Like when you smell the compost, it's amazing. Like, I think everyone should try composting at home, because it will teach you how to be patient, how to be calm, how to be relaxed. Like, everything has a slow process. So it taught me like how to be friends with insects, how to be patient. Like, okay, I'm supposed to get ready. These kind of baby, like मटके को रेन से बचाना है, धूप हो जाएगा, अच्छा अब क्या करना है, हल्दी डालना है, ये डालना है. So yeah, so this is my compost which I got. Can you see?
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Got ready. Yeah.
Wow, Tanya. Commendable.
So how long it took to create a compost for you?
It took 45 days to get this fine compost.
So Meenakshi, I think Meenakshi's observation is very correct.
My
Yeah,
mother
it
also want to say something.
नमस्कार. थैंक यू सो मच. मेरी बेटी मेरी टीचर है और मैंने इससे कंपोस्टिंग सीखा है. और जब कंपोस्टिंग बनती है ना तो उसमें तरह तरह के कीड़े आते हैं. पहले नंबर में आती है मक्खियां, ऐसे ऐसे करते हुए ना, ऐसे करते हुए. और दूसरे नंबर में आते हैं वो
Maggots, white color के जो,
ये मेरे को नाम याद नहीं आता, लेकिन वो बड़े प्यारे से कीड़े होते हैं और बड़े इनोसेंट से होते हैं. व्हाइट कलर के होते हैं और आगे हल्का सा ना डॉट होता है ब्लैक कलर का. और वो भी बेचारे ना लगती है और तीसरे टाइप के करते रहते. और मैं इसका थैंक्स करना चाहूंगी कि और composting सिखाऊंगी. Please come.
Sure, we will. Next time we will plan like a plastic-free July at your home. So I really appreciate Tanya for joining your sharing your challenges, and I really like the challenges you faced when you tried to implement action with your friends and with the community around you. So I think these are very great learnings from you today. Am I audible or like there is some network issue?
Yeah, you're
You
audible.
are.
Perfect. So I think now we can open a stage for all. If anyone has question for anyone, we can ask. Anyone wanna go first or ask anyone question
Yeah,
about this?
so Tanya, I want to ask you this. I mean, are you into community composting as well? I mean, your organization which you are working with?
I can't hear Tanya. Like if she has
Yeah,
like only I can't.
yeah. I think there's some network issue.
So like I have one question for Kavya. Like how you means from your like eco-friendly shop. Like how you trying to because I wanna know more about the shop you are creating and like what all products you are providing there.
Oh, so right now what we have is grains, spices, oils, all of those are provided in bulk. So people can get their own containers, or we have cloth bags, paper bags, jars, bottles that you can fill in and then weigh. Then we have toiletries. So that includes razors, soaps that are, because usually soaps, if you check at the back, it always says like in the triangle, the recycling triangle for the plastic, it always says 7. And that kind of plastic is, from what I have read, is it's difficult to recycle, and the chances are that it's not going to be recycled. So yeah, that's why we were very particular about getting soap that did not have palm oil and that did not come in that 7 wala kind of plastic. Yeah, so basically we have razors, toothbrushes.
So you try
Suddenly
to
I'm
bring
kind of,
so you try to bring all kind of products that are not plastic means packaged with plastic. So you avoid the consumption of.
exactly.
And do
Yeah,
you
so
also consider the pesticide as you mentioned, like pesticides is also harmful with the environment. So when you bring new products, so you check also the pesticides, like are they like natural pesticides or like some man-made like.
yeah, so basically, the only way to avoid pesticides with grains and stuff for sure is you check whether or not a company is certified organic, because anybody can say that they're organic, but to have that certification, you have to get your farm regularly checked. And yeah, that's the only way that you can figure out whether or not somebody is using harmful or chemical pesticides. And all of the 2 companies that we source from, both of them are certified organic.
Got it. So yeah, I think that's the best way. I think there are only few stores I know in Noida who provide like a sustainable package like products you can consume. So do you
Um, mm, Options, and I like nothing in the beginning. And it's only recently that I found this. It's a tooth powder which has activated charcoal. So, and along with 9 other ingredients, but it's affordable, it tastes all right, and it's easy to use. So, yeah, that's what we have at the store right now. And I mean, it works well for me, and I know that people have tried it and told me that it's worked well for them also. So, for toothpaste, yeah, we have that option.
Where is your store located, Kavya?
It's in Noida, Sector 44.
44.
Yeah. We do shipping also. So even if you live in actually, you said you lived in Mayur Vihar, so I am
Yeah.
actually from Preet Vihar. So
Okay.
I think I can easily ship to places that
So
are
is
close
there,
by.
I mean, online portal wherein I can, see the products or?
Yeah, I can share a website link with you.
Yeah, sure. Please do that.
Sure, I will.
Thank you.
No worries.
Tanya left the call, or like I think Meenakshi had one
Yeah,
question
she
for us.
dropped a message. Actually, the network, it's some network issues that she has to drop from the
Oh
meeting.
no.
No other people are joined, or like Meenakshi, do you have any question for Kavya or for me, or like Kavya, do you have any question for us?
No,
I
I
don't have
just
any
wanted to have,
questions.
I just wanted to know where her store is located. So in Delhi, these options are very limited. I found out to shop. Unfortunately, I was not very satisfied with the products which they were selling, and the biggest uh, you can say a disappointment factor which I saw in a organic shop when people using plastic packaging and calling themselves eco-friendly brands. So you see on
Exactly.
Instagram a lot of people selling organic material, organic, they are into all those organic things and eco-friendly things, and still there are products coming in a plastic packaging. That's a
Yeah,
disappointment.
yeah. Even when we were trying to we were trying to choose products for the store. Oh my God, the number of times we got products that were in plastic is crazy. Bamboo toothbrushes were packaged in plastic.
Yeah,
Literally,
correct.
yeah, it was so annoying.
Absolutely, because you're doing what is all about making plastic packaging is
And
disappointment.
it frustrated me even more that these people were calling themselves eco-friendly or zero
Yeah,
waste. Like, how dare you,
absolutely.
honestly?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It was really nice of Dilip, having this conversation,
Yeah.
platform, new people,
Yeah.
like-minded people. Otherwise,
Yes.
most of the times, we people look at us and think, yeah, ये कौन से ग्रह से आई है, as if, it's.
Exactly.
And I have seen this,
Yeah.
this form of exercises of non-segregate of your waste has come only in 10-15 years.
Hmm.
But if you will probably ask your grandmothers or your grandfathers, they will tell you they used to do it, because, and even if they were not doing it, there was, very minimum plastic at that
Exactly.
point of time. With
Yeah.
these fast fashions, Amazon, Flipkart, everything, coming in, and we adopting the habits of using and throwing things, as Kavya said, that there has to be optimum utilization of every resource. Only then we can, achieve these movements. Otherwise, it would be, I don't know where the world would be after 10 years.
10 years, there's so much happening already. I don't know if we have 10 years even, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. So yeah, I really appreciate for all of you joining today and like sharing your passion in the Latin. That's really amazing to see people coming around and bringing new things.
Yeah, thanks to you, Dilip.
Yeah, it's always like, as Meenakshi said, it's rare to come across people who care and who take an action as well. So it's actually really like it makes you feel so encouraged to keep doing what you do when you come
Correct.
across like-minded people.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I will share the recording session with you also. You can use it later, and like I will share on YouTube so you can check. Thanks.
Sure.
Yeah,
Great.
sure. And I am connected with the Dilip. And Kavya, if you have your Instagram account, please do tell me so that I can connect with you as well.
I can
Yeah,
even
as
share.
what I can
Dilip
do
can
is,
share.
yeah, send you my website link and my Instagram
Sure,
handle also.
sure. That would be
Oh,
really nice.
yeah, and share yours also
Thank
with me
you.
because I recently
Yeah,
started
yeah.
composting. So It will be very helpful. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Okay, great.
Okay. Thank you, Dilip. Thank you so much. Such a nice gesture. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, Kavya. Bye, Dilip.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.